Hello, peeps. This is Buckleman, and today I'm going to give a tour of my survival world. I started this about 6 months ago, and I've been working on it on and off, doing a little bit of Twitch with it, working off camera with it, and this is how far I've come so far. So we're going to take a peek at this world. We're going to switch it over to daytime. We're going to try to get rid of all of these nasty little mob guys, and we're about to start the tour. As the sun rises over the mountain, this is exactly why I picked this spot. And no, not because of Mr. Creeper down there, but this is what I loved about it. The spawn was originally through the dark forest over there, the dark oak forest. It was sort of that direction-ish, probably about a couple hundred blocks. It wasn't really that far. And when I came walking through here, I came up to this grand opening. It was like just nothing but like horses. I mean, as you can see, not sure, but there's a horse back there. There was nothing but horses here. I must have had about 30 horses. And so then when I came up, it's about right where the middle of the house was, right around here, I saw this area, and I walked up to this embankment right here, and I looked, and it's like, oh my God, there's so much stuff to do. There was no water here originally, but there was a river that started here, and it was all dry lands here, and then there was another river that started back down there. So this was all dry all through here. So the first thing that I thought to myself, oh my God, we need to connect this. We need to build some waterfalls off of these mountains and do whatever we need to do and go from there. And one of the first things that I did on top of this mountain up here is a lake. So I just sort of expanded the lake out and made the lake flow right into down here naturally and into the water. And we added water throughout in this whole area here. And after a while, we decided we needed a bridge because my mining starts in here. So this is where I was mining off of this area in here. And you know what? I've about had enough of looking at him. So anyways, this is where my mining was. And originally I would just go down and come up and go inside. Well, eventually, when we built the water, we needed a bridge. So that's where we built the bridge. We built the bridge at. And this is pretty much why I started here, is because I just love the scenic part of it with the mountains all the way around us. And then I started mapping out kind of like where the plot of my land was being. And that's where these little pillars came up to. So pretty much the basics of my land goes from this pillar here all the way down past the windmill, and there's like a river back there. And I decided, okay, we're going to make it like that. So it ended up being about 3 acres if you do the calculations with 1 meter equals 1 block and all that fun stuff. So it's about 3 acres of land. And pretty much my land goes with this river here as being the border. And it goes in a little bit into the wood forest this way. So the forest line here is pretty much my border line going all the way out to the back of the river. There's a river that runs through back there, and then the mountaintops, and then the wood forest over here. So this is pretty much my land that I've decided that was going to be my farmland. So the first thing after I really got the gist of it done was I needed a house. So we started with a little starter house, and the next thing you know, it kind of ballooned out to here. Originally, this was going to be the front of the house, where the view would go into the mountains and all of that. But over the course of time, as we just technically added this pathway over the course of the last 2 weeks, and with the design of the house, this being the side, we now decided that this would be the front of the house. So over the past couple of weeks, and on a couple of the Twitch streams I've done in the last few, this is what I've decided to come up with. We built the concrete path going around the house, sort of in an L shape, and then we got the landscaping. We put some trees in, some grass and some flowers, and it just sort of blew up this entire house. from being pretty plain and blah, and we added the staircase coming down. And it just became blah into something that looks really, really, I mean, to be honest with you, I really like the way that this came out in the front, or now the new front or the back or whatever this is going to be eventually. But this is the house plan that I came up with. So then, before I even got into all of that, I decided we're going to build a farm. So then I was coming up with some ideas about farming and what I need to have a farm, a barn, and we need a silo, and we need place to hold animals. So the barn design came first. So we decided to build the barn, and then we decided to build the pasture. So we could put our cows and our sheep and our pigs and all in the pasture. And then next it's like, well, if we're going to have this, I need to have a silo. So we decided to build a silo and then a place for to keep our chickens. So we have a chicken coop over here, the silo, the barn, and the animal pasture. So let's take a quick peek at this. Landscaping is like my next goal, and that's where I'm been really starting to work on is landscaping, and that's probably going to be the next thing that I do is just landscape. First, I was putting buildings up and just kind of getting some ideas of where I wanted the places, things to go. This is the inside of the barn. Pretty simple, pretty plain. And you come up here, and this is where we keep all of our excess hay bales and stuff like that. And then when you come out, this is where the animals are. So we have our nice little piggies over here. One of these doors should open. Have a piggies over here, little mud pit for them, a huge place for sheep, and then of course cow pasture over here. Eventually I want to take use of that mountainside and pretty much make this like a huge cow pasture and have like natural borders where they can't get out, and maybe like sketches of picket fences like this throughout the lay. I was going for picket fence designs. I didn't really like any in 1.13, but as 1.14 is around the corner, I've seen some different things that we can do as far as fencing goes, and I think that's what I want to go for. So I've been kind of waiting for 1.14 to come out so that we can update to that and then use all of the fun resources that we're going to get from there. Now behind us is what I considered my workers' village, where my farm hands stay. So just a small little couple of houses, some small houses here. Inside's not done, but just a place where they can be. They could chill, put a bed in here and a couple of things. And just a few little house designs, nothing too spectacular, but nice and cozy. And then eventually have a pathway coming up here, maybe a bridge over this water, maybe even extend the water out to meet the water that's behind this house and go from there. So that is that. This is the blacksmith, and this is something that I decided I need to have because of all of my armor that I was making and enchanting and all of this, and I decided I need to have a place to store my extra stuff. This is pretty much the inside of it. Nothing too fancy, a little showroom here for all of the different armors that we could have. Eventually I got to put some diamonds up there because I haven't, at the time that I built this, I didn't have a whole lot of diamonds. So, and this is just the excess, and shulker box is full of all of the fun armor that we can throw up there, all of the weapons. So if I need something, I can come back over here and get it real quick. And then out here's the forge. And as the sun sets, it's a pretty view. Oop, and out here's the forge. Forge area. We got a couple of places where we can fire up the iron. We can put the, and that's probably what I need out here, some iron blocks. Get some iron blocks out here to go with the coal. But then, yeah, we fire it up here, come over here. We can wash down the water that we need to fill and so forth. And a nice little area here. Like I said, when I first came over here, there was nothing but horses. So we had to do something with these guys. So we built ourselves a nice little horse stable. Holds 6 horses. And then, of course, a lot of free room out here. They got some grass to go with the dirt. Maybe a little bit of, got to watch our step here and there as the bad guys come up. And this is where we're keeping all of our extra armor, our saddles, and all that fun stuff. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. Is each stall's got their own hay, own pretty little things. And yeah, that's what that is. So let me go find a bed and kill some of these guys, and we'll be right back. As the sun rises from the east. And this was the other reason why I love this design. All right, as the sun rises from the east, let's continue our tour as we look now into the west at our wonderful windmill and our nice little wheat farm that we have built up. And as you can see here, plenty of wheat and just pretty much a basic little windmill. It's a basic little windmill. Not too fancy, but I wanted it to be pretty tall, and I thought that that baby came out pretty well. And as the wind blows around and they get the wheat, and the workers from over there can take the wheat around over here into the silo. And as we go inside the greenhouse, we can see all of our wonderful crops here. We got our carrots and our potatoes and our beetroot and more potatoes and our sugar cane, all inside this nice little glass structure. With our pumpkins over here, our watermelon over here, and places where we could store all of our food. So we'll have plenty of food for the animals, plenty of food for us. So before we go into the house, I'm going to go towards the mines on our freshly new paved concrete that we just built. As we go over the bridge, up, down, here's where I have my mining system. So pretty much what I do is I go down there and mine. I throw all the items inside a chest. The mine cart comes by, picks up all the items, brings it up here. Let's get, let me see if I can hit it as it goes by. Oh, ugh. Well, that's an epic fail. So as the cart comes up, it's going to come around here. It's going to stop here. It's going to drop the items inside the dropper, inside there. And then it's just going to filter it all the way around. So if it has cobble, it's going to drop it off here. If it has andesite, it's going to drop it off here. If it has whatever, it's going to, if it has granite, it's going to drop it off here. If it has diorite, it's going to have to drop it off there. And another way for this to work, we could just put the cobble in there. It's going to activate the system. And as we look over here, it's going to come up over here as it gets filtered and goes inside. And as we saw the sun rise in the east, we now see the sun set in the west. And again, so now that's pretty much for the overworld. So let's go check out the nether. And the one thing about this, and let's grab some food real quick. And the one thing about this is that when I put this baby here, and if I look this way, bam, right on the edge of a nether fortress. So how about them apples? So it actually spawned as a double fortress. There's actually two fortresses here as one. And so let's get away from him. But the one thing that I wanted to show you guys was two things actually I want to show you. First is this very first portal that we see over here. So as we avoid Mr. Sunshine and go through this very first portal that's in here, this is actually going to take me to my XP farm. And if I go over here, I found a double spawner that was relatively close. Over in this section here is my zombie spawner. And over here is my Spidey spawner. And if I stand right in this area over here, it'll activate both of them at the same time. So as we sit here for a minute, I hope, yep, there they come. And eventually you're going to hear some rumbling over here. Let's come over here and zap these guys. And there we go. I can hear them now starting to warm up. And eventually they're going to fall right here onto this block. And there they go. And we just pretty much zap them. And this is where we've been collecting XP for a while. And what's kind of cool about this is spiders will not go through here, but actually zombies can. But spiders cannot go through this. As you can see, a player can and also a zombie can. So let's see if we can activate some more zombies from the side here. So let's sit here for a minute. Oh, there they come. You can hear them. They're going to come down the water stream. They're actually going to come through this beam right here. And then they're going to come in at level, and boom. They're going to fall right there. And then I could let them sit there for a minute, and then, boop, zap them with one shot. And come up here and grab the XP. And I have one more thing I want to show you guys, and let me get there. We pop out this one. Here is my end city. So pretty much all I got to do is go in there and the end portal. All I got to do is jump in there. But here's the cool part about this. Go up here and go out. This baby is underwater. So my end portal that I had to find was underwater. So this baby was sitting in here in the middle of the ocean. That's the back end of it, but if I go towards this way, we're going to see the rest of it right here. And it just weeds through. Right here's a tower. There's the rest of it. There's an extension over there. Originally, that's where I went in at, is through there. So if I go this way and avoid Mr. Drown, this is where I originally went into. Oink. Couldn't find it worth the life of me. But eventually I knew it had to be low, so I figured it might have been down in that mountain somewhere in there. And then I got worried that maybe it didn't spawn. That kind of freaked me out, but then I kind of went around a little bit, started searching a little bit, and then I found this part right here. So then I kind of knew, okay, there it is. So if I go down and look, I looked through the window and I saw it. I'm like, oh, there she is. So then I was kind of worried about, can water damage happen to it or anything crazy like that? But it's kind of, so there we go. So yeah, this baby was spawned in the middle of the ocean. So that's where I had to find this bad boy. And then the end portal is pretty much the same as normal. And so, yeah, that's what was so cool about this. And I didn't like it at first, but now that once I was able to find everything, I thought it was pretty cool to have myself an end portal in the middle of the ocean. All right, so as we leave the end portal and the nether and come back home, this is home. So that is pretty much the tour for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all liked it. And for now, we're going to go back to mining and crafting and see what else that we can build. Thank you for watching, peeps, and have a good one. Bye-bye, babies.